Test, test. There you go. Hey folks, how's it going? It's Wednesday. I'm doing some Blender stuff today. Took a moment for the microphone to actually connect, which is a bit weird. But we're connected. Halfway through the week. Hope everyone's had a good week so far. Just looking at the our golem, we'd started texturing. I think I was mostly happy with the textures of it. It's just kind of getting the green moss to kind of sit a little bit better. Then, to be honest, I'm pretty happy with how that looks. Just wanted to kind of have some sort of facial features and a bit more definition, but we can deal with that. Let's switch over to the main screen. We can see what I'm up to here. Yeah, so I want a little bit more coverage for the moss. Put the Z. Could give it like a little bit of extra like that. I want it to be a bit darker though, that's the thing. Let's see what we can do with this. Just try and remember what steps we took to kind of get to this stage. It's quite light at the moment, and when we kind of get to this stage, you can just kind of zoom. It's not as easy to see, so I definitely want it to be more visible. So I think that's just generating the noise, the texture to itself. So what's the is that type point texture? Oops, thinking about it. Seems to have gone completely. No point. Okay. Choose active color. Stop. So the color thing is all fine. I think that's all fine now. Detail. Mission. don't particularly want anything shiny on it. It's going to be very much not shiny. It definitely kind of sets it to just the higher part of it, which is what we want. We just want it kind of setting on the top. Texture coordinates. Generated normal UV. So that's basically a multiplier. So we set it back to 1. We don't really need to multiply that. Just so that's 1.3. Yeah, probably 1.2. You can see it's just kind of like the caps of it there. I want it to be more noticeably green though. I detach that. Okay, so that's the colour of it. So if I look at how the colour looks here, and then we can put a noise texture back in to break it up a bit. Maybe I need to darken obviously need the detail, don't we? So we want it to be more like a stronger definition. So how sharp that is there, but we want it to be darker. Scale, detail, roughness. I wonder if there's something else I can put in here to make it sharper. Yes, we definitely don't want it to be metallic. Let's do touch that again. Let's do this so 276. That was kind of cool as a contrast, actually. You have to see the green, but yo, hey Lisa, how's it going? Good to see you. Gotta watch the boys, so AFK, okie dokie. You enjoy that? Thank you for lurking. I sell emotes. You do sell the best emotes. There they are. Awesome stuffs. Yeah, the boys looks pretty cool. It's on my watch list. I've not seen it yet. I kind of know what it's about. This metal sounds weak, but they grind. How's it going, Jeffrey? Good to see you, dude. Hope you're starting to feel a little bit better. Yeah, this is Evening Glow lo-fi rock metal guitar beats. The image for the video is pretty cool. Yes, a little bit better every day, but still don't dare to do anything. Oh yeah, certainly keep resting. Now, if you're interested, this is the video I'm listening to right now. It's a pretty cool graphic, but as you say, yeah, it's certainly not heavy. It has a cat. It does. I thought I was going to die this morning. Oh. How come? Suddenly we're woken up by a sound that sounds like a big missile incoming. Deafening loud. Oh wow. Just getting louder. Yeah, that'll be nerve-wracking. Especially what's going on at the moment. High-pitched missile sound, you know. Yeah. Louder and louder. Nothing happened, probably just a big plane that flew over. Yeah. It was like, it's here. The Russians are firing. It's here. I bet if you're hearing that. Like, so we get some low planes in this area. And it's kind of like unnerving to hear sort of that kind of sound happening. The coolest thing we have in this area is Chinooks. So they are loud, and they fly quite low as well. We don't, because normally we don't have planes here because we live in the artillery base, so don't fly here. Flying, shooting in the sky is not good. This was like fighter jet or something, like a F-35. Ooh, nice. So that incoming nuke, I swear. Yeah, that's all that whooshing sound coming through the air. Yeah, I've never had anything that sounds quite like a missile sound. But yeah, it had like the dropping in the pitch, that sort of sound that you hear when it's sort of something's moving closer. Yeah, nothing quite like a missile yet, thankfully. But glad it wasn't. Glad it's all okay. Just seeing what I can use here to sharpen the definition. I wonder if I do. I want that to look a bit more blotchier, but at the same time sharper. If I set the roughness right down. So it doesn't appear to be affecting the green too much there. So it just needs to be 2D. Why is that applying to the whole thing? Yeah, it was really loud. Yeah, so that'd be quite concerning to be hearing something like that going off. What is World War III started? Ooh, no. Yeah, it's you think anything like that could easily happen. It's certainly concerning to think, well, yeah, The thing is, why would they even? Well, there's no reason to kind of strike the Netherlands, but equally the same. There's some reasons to strike the UK, but course manager, we gotta die now. But yeah, there's some reasons to strike the UK, but not much. It's still really something, yeah. Hey Max, how's it going, dude? Evening, buddy, and all in chat. Good to see you, dude. How's it going? There are many reasons to strike us. Oh, okay. I think they wanted to start World War III, but Donya scared them off. She got angry at the noise. Got the biggest harbour in Europe, from which all weapons reach Ukraine. Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't think about the harbour. Many bases also housing US military. Ah, yeah. You want to hurt the EU, hurt us first. Oh, that sucks. Considering sort of generally the Netherlands isn't much kind of military threat in itself, but because you kind of facilitate the rest of Europe. Doing good, thanks buddy, glad to hear. Ooh, I'm yawning. I was a reasonably good sleep last night. I need to understand these nodes a bit more because I'm sure you can do some fantastic stuff with kind of texture nodes, but it's far beyond my kind of levels of understanding. What I might do is come back to this. Actually go off, do some research, come back to it. So what we're looking at, shaders, that's it, shader nodes. So we need to do some reading and video watching the shader nodes, but we shall go back to timelines. Let's save this, because I want to get animating this thing again. I reckon this looks pretty cool. It could be better, there's still room for improvements on the actual textures, but I'm pretty happy with how that looks. Third, while we don't have an imposing army, we have good counter-terrorism units, and we also have got world-class commandos. Ooh. That's something to be proud of. Yeah, I heard sort of was it the Americans trying to justify things by saying so other countries want to attack the UK, so we need to attack them first, which is basically American thinking that we strike first, they can't hurt us, even though they're never going to hurt them in the first place. Counting down to the days until UK GE. I've got another ticket for Friday night for the Dark Room. Ooh, nice. Yeah, I like the Dark Room. Yeah, we'll enjoy that. I like what's his name? Rob. Can't remember his second name. Rob from the Dark Room. Brilliant comedian and host. Well, thank you for getting the ticket. I do appreciate it, dude. Yeah, I've seen the dark room a few times now, and every time, because it's just chaos. It's just fun chaos. Robinson. John Robinson. That's it. John Robinson from the dark room. Last time I didn't like it as I got knocked out. Yeah, you have to be seen by a medic for being. Did you actually get a foot in the face? Yeah, this time try not to stand near too close to flying feet. Remember, he just ran off. So ran off and sort of jumps into the crowd basically, and got a foot to the face. There's an elbow to the temple. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember the medics were having to deal with one or two people, weren't they? There was at least 3 people with injuries. I'm sure they were cursing John for the chaos he orchestrated. Yeah, the last dark room I went to was a daytime dark room, so it was a shorter version, and was mostly family friendly because that was free, as the ones in the evening to buy tickets for. John Robinson was at Download Festival last year doing dark room, I think. He might be again this year, I have to check. But it was on the Wednesday night, and once you've done all the walking and the carrying and the setting up, and Nix and I just basically wanted to sleep that evening. We haven't got the energy to go out partying after the whole day that is Wednesday. So I think we left Stratford about 7 AM. Maybe even 6 AM. We left Stratford pretty early on that Wednesday. So we already were up early. We were driving early. And then by the time we got to the evening when John Robinson was on, is that, yeah, we're just gonna kind of just chill in the tent for the evening now. But I hope we both have more energy this year. But take it easy. Do what I need to do. Remember the guy sat next to me with blood all over his head from being hit in the head from a can of beans? Yeah. The beans was chaos in itself. Like, didn't he put a load of beans in a bag and swing it around? I know he was kind of throwing the empty cans of beans. Was it like a tornado of baked beans just being thrown around? So if you're in the front few rows, you've got beans on you. I'm glad we're on the second block backwards, so we didn't get the bean coverage. Yeah, we've got bean juice all over my shorts. Oh no. Yeah, that was a messy evening. Want to do multiples? I might have to Google this one again. How we do multiple animations? Animation, meta rig action. Let's go. Put it scan. Alright, go have to Google it, I'm afraid. Don't know. Can't remember. Multiple animations. Create multiple animations in Blender. That's what we want to do. This person, it took them hours of research to find out, and they put it into a 5-minute video. Dope sheet. How'd we get that? Action editor. You have to actually go into the animation. Hmm. What was the clogginess today? So we go into here, we got the dope sheet here now. Action editor. Right, okay. So create a new action. And this one shall be You might lose me for 2 hours on Saturday UK EG, as I'm going to be playing D&D with Luke Gygax, son of Gary Gygax, who was the inventor of Dungeons & Dragons. Nice! That's okay. I'm sure I'll find something to do. I wonder if there'll be spectators. Just kind of chill and watch. Yeah, I'll see what cool tabletop stuff there is. I'm slowly getting into the idea of tabletop gaming. I have some card games, nowhere near the level of the top ones. But... And trying to get more and more into D&D. I've only run 2 small one-shots so far. Yeah, I've only done 2 small one-shots. Single-player one-shots. So I need to work myself up to campaign level. So this is going to be... Let's call this idle. Idle. No, idle's just going to be doing nothing. This is going to be this will be symbol. This will be a symbol. So we got scanning and a symbol. So we'll do this in reverse, I suppose. Because I want the there's quite a few movements there. So we will clear this. Can we clear this in one go? Select all. Delete. To the keyframes. Cool. So we go back to scanning. And everything's still there on scanning, which is what we want. We don't want to lose the scanning one. So we then go back to assemble. And we've got a blank one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save as and make a new file. At this point, because anything that happens from this point onwards, at least we can go back to what we had before the stream. So if this is going to be an assemble animation, what I would like from this one is to go from the standing position that it is right now to a pile of sort of neatly piled rocks. So, but for it to assemble in such a way that when the rocks come together, they kind of fit themselves together. I don't want it to kind of like fly together. kind of want it to kind of fold almost. When it's almost unfolds. Fold and unfold. So we could do with having, if we insert keyframe location. So the entire meta rig, we have a stamp as to where these currently should be. And then we want it to get to a point where they are all on the floor. So we do it about the halfway mark. We go for the 120 frame. So this could be interesting to see how we actually achieve this. So where's the move tool? Okay. So what I'd probably want to do with this, if we go that side, is that's still rotating. Don't want it to rotate. I want it to move. Let me see him kick. I suppose because its center is up here. It needs to kind of fold it on itself. Okay, so let's do it this way then. Let's do this in pairs. So we get the whole thing to fold up, even if it's floating in space like it is now. And then I can move its center. And rotation as well, of course. Oh, its feet kind of fold into there, maybe. almost like a transformer, I suppose. You're familiar with the Transformers? The don't think that makes much of a difference there. Oh, the arms are completely detached. That's useful. I probably need to detach some more of it so it is a bit more free to move. I'll probably do that. And then have the arms fold around the back of it. Slide them to rig for a sec. There you go, it kind of looks like a pile of rocks. Now if I then bring the meta rig back, select all, and add a location. Yes. The only thing I didn't do was it's a location but not a rotation. I'll add a rotation there as well, because yeah, so that's the problem. I forgot to set the the rotation. That's annoying because if I just go to that. So basically all I've captured is the movement. It needs to I need to capture the rotation as well. Blender Junkie, what's up? How's it going, bots? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. A bit late, had to do some housework. That's all good. Housework's important. Yeah, I did a silly. Here. Let's go back to scanning. Making the golem wake up animation. Yes. What have I done to his arm? Yeah, I might have broken its arm. That's why I saved it before I started messing with it. What's going on here? Got this. So sad that I missed most of Golem's modelling work. That's all good. It's all on YouTube. I think I've actually broken its arm. Go stop. Go into pose mode. What's going on with this? Did I never actually do anything with that bone? Maybe not. Get it a cast for its arm. Yeah, I feel I need to. Let's rotate its arm back where it's supposed to be. And let's set its rotation. It's an agonizing pain. There we go. It's because I never actually set a anything for that particular bone in that animation, so it's just whatever position that part of the arm is in is just the way it is. So I've now set that location in the animation now, so that's fine. I'm a little confused about these lines kind of all tying down to here. That's a little bit weird. They weren't there last time I opened Blender. Anyway, okay. We go back to there, and we go that, select all. Can we copy the pose? And then go to the assemble and paste the pose. We can, yes. Go to edit mode. Real quick, please. Edit map. Cool. I'm just going to save this here. Keyframe rotation. and location. So that's in there. Let's go back to the layouts. Edit. What have we got going on, Bob? Maybe go into edit mode with one of the mesh objects. Okay. Let's go with that one. Is it a... It seems to be like a, almost like it's a vertex, isn't it? It's kind of just floating there. Looks like those lines of vertices have extruded, yeah. Or maybe it's just something to do with the rig? Maybe. So it seems to be tied to different parts of the rig. So I select different objects. So I select that one. There's a dot there. Select that one, there's a dot there. Select that, there's a dot there. The dot there. They all seem to be in the center bit here. We go into object mode and select the center and see if the mesh objects get selected. Object mode, yes. Yeah, let's select that. If I hit select there, it seems to select the whole of the rig. So I somehow extruded the rig down to there. So select out, the whole rig selects. When you select one of those and go into edit and delete the vertices. Because I tried to select it when it was, we do that, go to edit. Can I? Move the center it up there. So that's that way. Select a mesh, then go into edit mode, select a vertex, press X. Okay. So we'll select that, go into edit mode, select a vertex, and press X. Delete vertex. Doesn't seem to be removing it. I'm not sure I can actually select that. It appears to be a vertex, doesn't it? So weird, yeah. Because if I select that, you expect that not to be selected. But that is not selectable, but it's highlighted when I edit that mesh. If I select another mesh, that's no longer selected anymore. If I select that mesh, that now comes up. It's weird. Very weird. Might need a Blender expert in here. Yeah. I've done something. What I could probably do is actually start hiding. If I hide some of these things, see what disappears. As I'm hiding the meshes, those lines are disappearing, aren't they? Maybe it's nothing big, maybe it won't affect the output. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's just confusing that there seems to be a line coming from most of the meshes. If I hide all the meshes, there's no lines, but then I start showing the meshes again, look. The lines start appearing. I don't know what they called Rock Free Sea Color 1. Why have I named them that? I had some weird lines when modelling a building for Game Jam. And it broke the whole mesh, but that's because the bevel was way too high. Ah. Yeah, I played around bevel and had some weird things happen with that. Yeah, that is the head. There's the neck. And that is got some good news though. Ooh, what's your news? I always like good news. Oh, looks like a chicken now. All the bulk around that and then spindly bits on the end. Had this bug where Godot hung and I had to hard shut down my PC. Chicken junkie. Yeah. I do like chicken. Ooh, Godot crashing, that's not good. Go back to animation. It's not appearing to do any issues at the moment, but I'm sure Unity will scream at me as soon as I go to import it. Today I fixed a bug. It was quite a stupid bug, but damn, it's hard to find. They're the worst kind, the stupid bugs. Can be holding our entire project up. And they're pretty simple. But because they're simple, they're not very easy to find. Simple. It turns out I don't have while loops that don't do anything. Oh yeah, it turns out I don't have while loops anything, yeah. Looping is very dangerous. Always have a... always check your logic on a loop. Okay, start my mouse and keyboard focus so I couldn't do anything. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the reasons I think Unity has crashed a lot in the past is because it gets stuck in a loop. Either a loop that I've created or a loop within the game's engine. And it goes, nope, we can't do anything right now. We're just stuck in this. Okay, that. So it's even weirder when you see all the lines like this. I would like to change the rate at which this the different parts of the animation. Now Bob can freely shop. Nice. Oh look, he changed it to a process loop so it crisis averted. Nice, well done Bob. Bob can freely shop. I'm sure Bob's happy about this. If I play this backwards now. I like the animation. Thank you. So this will be its assembling itself. Now, in my head, each of the individual rocks weren't touching and they just kind of come together and it forms into something. But as the rigging holds it together, which you'd expect it to. So unless I detach the parenting of the rig, so everything's more freer to move. But I don't know, I kind of like the fact it folds out. Like this is just kind of sat in a pile and it just kind of unfolds itself. It looks sick, but that'll be hard to, yeah. Be hard to animate, but anything that looks sick, I'm sure, but it takes a lot of work to get there. Like if you saw that, I could put some random rocks around it, and then it would just kind of scatter the rocks as per the physics, and then this will just kind of unfold. So if you have that, you're just walking along, and it will just go. You kind of alert it and you'll just slowly set itself up and then go into scanning animation. And if it spots the player, then it goes into attack animation. Maybe have an animation that hides the full golem but shows detached rocks that roll up and show the full golem and hide the detached rocks. Yeah, could do that actually. Yeah, because it doesn't have to be the one thing. Yeah, could just have an animation of rocks coming together, swap out the model, and then it does this. But as it is, it's almost like a transformer, is the way I'm seeing this at the moment. It's not quite Optimus Prime, but it's let's hide the rig. Yeah, so if you look at that, it's kind of, I might have to look at the positioning so it doesn't slide a bit more. Rockerbots, roll out. So it almost kind of almost kind of slides on its toes a little bit here. So I think what it needs to do is I need to adjust the positioning as it moves up. Should actually be tumble, yes. Let's have a look from the side here. Because yeah, that will go into the ground. You consider this green line here to be the ground. What I should probably do is stop, like delay the rotation of the feet a little bit. So when it gets to that point, stop rotating, and then as it gets that a bit further up, rotate it more so it kind of sits back onto the feet rather than rolling through the foot, if that makes sense. Imagine this in the distance, some rocky forest standing up here. There could be like rocks sat on top of it, like 3 rocks that are placed on there, and as it does this they fall off and this kind of emerges through the rocks. But that's easy to do it in engine because this animation would knock the individual 3 rocks off it. Yeah, so I'm thinking as it... Oops, didn't want to do that. As it gets to about there, it wants to kind of roll back because its center is here. It's almost like the front, the legs and the top are almost kind of folding into the center, whereas I almost want it to fold backwards rather than forward. That makes sense. Make the feet stay at the origin. That would make your work easy. Yeah, so the feet need to stay there, and then it... How's we going to do that then? And that would be the thing, wouldn't it? This needs to stay at the origin here. This rock stay there, and the rest of it kind of moves around it is what I'm going for. I do like the way I've done this. It's clipping a little bit. The center being true center makes your work difficult. That's why most character rigs center is at the feet. If you know what I mean, yes. Yeah. The only thing with this at the moment, it's clipping those rocks together. So what I could probably do with the animation is moving that out of the way of that one, so it's not actually clipping through the rock there. Clipping is fine right now. Okay, yeah. I'm probably being picky because again, I'm looking at this animation here. The game will probably only see it from this angle, from this kind of distance. So it would only ever be seen from here anyway. So from this kind of angle, it looks like the arm isn't actually attached at this point, and as it comes up here like this, the arm is pulled into the socket there. Because the arms are detachable in the model, either by accident rather than design. So it does mean that it kind of hides its form a little bit. So as that kind of moves up, the arms kind of are pulled in to attach back onto the model. And I've got the arms folded around its legs here, so they kind of slide around as it comes up. But I quite like that. Considering all I've done is put its standing position and its lying dormant position and just let the linear sort of transition between the two happen. It's only really the feet I want to control. You know, that heavy stone that has moved. That heavy stone that is moved meme sound. I don't know. Someone's doing a Michael Jackson there. Let me send it in Discord. Okie dokie. Yeah, mid animation is doing a Michael Jackson there. You see all these points coming out of it, it's weird. Not he, it's re, cause rock spelled with an R. Yes. It's a re rock. It doesn't do a moonwalk, it is the moon. It is a walking moon, not a moonwalk. Let's go location. Let's click on that, see the link, thank you. Ah, yes. Dragging stone sound effect. Might have to use that. Actually, sliding moon, yes. What I do, because I've come this far, is to manually adjust it for now, and then the next character I'll fix it. I imagine that sound every time bro moves. Yeah. So at that point, we kind of want them to... location. Okay. Been done manually, but it covers it for now. Probably what I would do is actually have it move. Because the leg's obviously shifting from there to there. I would want the so I've not set where the foot being centre. I'd actually want it to adjust for that. Set the end keyframe to 70 because now it's at 250. Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, it would have so much to play through. Let's try that. Yeah, not quite. So what I learned with Bob is that when the timing is off, the game breaks. Oh. This would have been much easier if I'd set it based on the foot, but we live and learn. Soup smash. Oh yeah, that's not bad actually. There is a slight bit I need to... From that point there, it needs to align to about there. Okay. Okay, not too bad now. The amount of times I think of soup nowadays is unhealthy. Soup can be healthy though, but maybe thinking about it so much isn't. All because of some credit card scammer. Ah, yes. Let's hide the misery. You look at that and think, oh, it's just a pile of mossy rocks. And go, no, it's not. That's pretty close to what I had in my head, to be honest. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I could just take the same shader nodes, make them paranoid, make them pay. Yeah, take the same shader nodes that I used for the golem and just apply that to random. Oops, my capitalist alter ego came out. Yeah, because the idea being sort of, I want the player to the beginning of the game at least, I want the player to fear these, because these are the heavies, these are the high hitting, high damage enemies that until the player gets more skilled is going to have a challenge with these. So these are going to be slow. They're not going to be instantly chasing the player down, but the player will be, it'll be easier for the player to avoid them, put it that way. So especially if you think how long this animation is, if as soon as the player sees the rocks moving, they can get out of it, out of its cone of vision very easily. But I plan to have situations where the player would need to get past these, in which case they need to be strong enough to take them on. So they almost become guardians, I suppose, at that point. It's like sort of, they would have to be removed in order for you to progress to certain areas. So it becomes like a level capped kind of barrier, I suppose. It's nice for a player to feel they progress to the point they can then take on stronger enemies. Because there's no point in all enemies being the same and you just don't feel you progressed or got stronger. So I intend to have an equivalent of these in every area. World Cop, yes. Exciting new game. It is a rock. Is it a plane? Not a plane. A golem, but plane sounds familiar. Yeah. Now let's play Rock or Golem. Deadly game. If you lose, you get it wrong, you lose. You'll crush to death. Oh no, it's a golem, run! Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Especially the way the shoulders kind of sit in like that. That's completely unintentional. It's almost like it kind of is pulling its arms back into position. Is that right? What needs to be smashed? Cool, I'm happy with that. So we play it back. Well, it's been playing backwards. So if the golem goes back into idle state, it just kind of like collapses. Maybe the collapse animation needs to run slightly faster, because it almost looks like it gently. Or does it not matter that it's gentle? That if it's falling down like that, it almost wants to be a bit more sudden rather than smooth. But when it's coming together, it needs to be a bit more smoother, because it's trying to assemble itself. Beware, it doesn't bite, but He doesn't bite, but he tries to sell you car insurance. Quite honestly, it looks really good. Okay, thank you, Rob. I appreciate the feedback. Like, I could spend hours perfecting this, and generally it doesn't actually make a difference to the player. Now, what I could do is essentially take this pile of rocks here, as it is, and just turn that into a static mesh. And just modify it slightly and dot them around, as you say, as non-golems. And then some of them actually are golems waiting to assemble themselves. What's the time? Just gonna have a quick break for 2 minutes. I'll be right back. And then we'll look at doing another animation. I'm quite happy with that one. Right, 2 secs, I'll be back with you. Oh, boss could be back in 10 or so minutes. Cool. Right, so I'm happy with that. So we're going to save that. Now I know the whole thing is a bit longer, but we can do some adjusting if need be. So let's go all the way back to here. Let's go to animations. And we want to make a new animation now. Now could do the walking. Walking is going to be quite interesting. So animations I like to do is walking, attacking, maybe 2 different attack animations, probably like a swing, sort of like a swiping kind of animation where it goes to kind of probably swipes with both arms maybe, which will attack immediately in front of it, and maybe like a double fist slam to the ground. So we can do those. We can call it like attack 1, attack 2. So there's 3 more animations. Maybe a death animation. We probably need a death animation, don't we? Where it so once it's been defeated, I suppose all the rocks just kind of just fall to the ground. So that'll be interesting to achieve. I suppose at that point you just kind of swap the models out, I suppose. So I'll make a duplicate model where the rocks aren't actually attached and they'll just free fall, I suppose. Probably the easiest thing to do. Yeah, so you just end up with a load of individual rocks as opposed to that. So yeah, it'll probably end up swapping the mesh out. But then of course the only thing with that is that you'd have it in this kind of stance at the moment. So if it dies mid animation, you kind of want it to fall apart in that current stance. So it probably should be part of this model, really. So it needs to have a state where everything's scattered. Yeah, I'd have to think about that. You just want it because it's kind of just all of its individual parts just to kind of fall in whatever stance it's currently sat in, so to speak. Whatever stance it's currently assuming. So what should we tack on it? Let's make a new. Display number of users data click to make a single user copy. Click user. New action, create new action. So what should we go for? Attack 1. Let's do attack 1. Attack 01. 01 sounds nicer. Okay. Let's get the meta rig back in. Go into pose mode. Select all. Now what we don't want is these ones here. We'll keep the start because that's go to those. So we'll keep all the default stance in there because that's quite useful. So this is giving me attack. So we could do the swipe, I suppose. So for it to swipe, we want it to probably crouch its legs. Or it's lean over, maybe. Probably a slight crouch and a lean. What we will do bring it down to about there. And back. Welcome back, bot. Do that. Squat column, yes. So this is going to be the low sweeping attack. To be squatting a bit more than that. Oh, detach his legs. Not quite what I had in mind. Paraplegic arm. Okay. So we'll do that. And we want the because the player is going to be 1.5 these squares high. So if the player is standing here, we want this to lean down and kind of swipe at the player. Some time back when developing the first systems of the combination game, I encountered some weird physics bugs. And instead of getting mad, I became deranged and laughed uncontrollably because I didn't know how to fix them. There's certainly one response to it, I suppose. One of those squares are 1 by 1 meter, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So the player is going to be 1.5 meters, approximately. So this column is 3 meters high. 1.5 meters is pretty short. Yeah, the character is a teenager. Rap me something. I don't do rap, but I can find a rap. Golem starts splitting bars, splitting petals. I mean petals, yes. Oh, what my favourite so. It's not really much of a... Yeah, I suppose. There is a rap in it, you know, the whole thing. Roll up and attack this player. Yeah, this player cannot wrap, but I can wrap and attack on this player. I like it. Absolute pebbles. Yeah, how about this one? So this is from one of my favourite songs, White and Nerdy. How about this for a rap? So a swig of liquid first. I'm a wizard minesweeper, I could play for days. Once you see my sweet moves, you're gonna stay amazed. My fingers move so fast, I'll set the place ablaze. There's no killer rap I haven't run. At Pascal, well, I'm number one. Do vector calculus just for fun. I ain't got the gaffer, I've got the soldering gun. Happy Days, my favourite theme song. I could kick your butt in a game of ping pong. I'll ace your any trivia quiz you bring on. I'm fluent in JavaScript as well as Klingon. White and nerdy about you? Yeah, I identify. Yeah, the whole rap, the whole verse is brilliant. That's halfway through the verse. There. It's a parody of Rolling Dirty by what's his name? Chamillionaire. Chamillionaire's Riding, rewritten by Weird Al Yankovic to be white and nerdy. Yeah, absolutely love that. Because Chamillionaire's original is quite cool, but see my Discord bio. Ooh. Look. Pronouns are why, where, how, because debugging is my gender. I like it. Only half white. Oh, indeed, yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm 100% white. Also, I didn't hear white and nerdy. I heard white and early, which is not you. No, definitely not. So, what is the actual speed of that? Probably needs to be slightly quicker than that, to be honest. Probably going to need to bring that shoulder down as it kind of swings the one arm followed by the other. Watching an eco-friendly exercise vid right now. Oh, what's an eco-friendly exercise vid? Oh, found this amazing new thing. Oh, what's that? We like amazing new things. Maybe you like it as well. Okay. Gollum's squatting. Ah, okay, yes. Black metal mixed with EDM dance music. Okay, this is already sounding cool. From Finland, nice. Called King Satan. Sound like it could be my thing. I like any heavy fusions of styles. Scent, awesome. King Satan, Satanized. Praise, hail Satan. Listen when you want. Cool. I'll put that on after the stream. When I hit two rocks together, is that called rock music? Certainly rock percussion. Anyways, I unfortunately got to go now. Okie dokie bot. Thank you for joining us today. It's always awesome to chat and see you hanging out. Hope you have a good evening, and I'll see you next time. I'll be wrapping up not too long from now. So yeah, hope you enjoy your week. I should be back on Friday. Fortunately, from next week, I have no more hard obligations, so I can stay for the whole stream if my internet permits me. Fingers crossed. That's good to hear, boss. We can have full 2 hour of boss. Good night, enjoy Mr. Gollum. Thank you, bot. Good night, hope you have a good rest. Effectively all I want to do at probably about 25 there. Let's set location and rotation. Well, what I should probably do probably do is plug my keyboard in. It's battery's a bit low. What I should probably do is really like King Satan. Nice. I'll definitely check them out. Certainly my kind of thing. By description at least. So as it leads down, it almost wants to bring its arm up to swipe, and then bring the other arm to swipe. The idea being it's going to be slow, slow enough for the player to get out of the way, but if they don't, they're going to get some serious damage. New Aeon Gospel, cool. Oh, they call it EDM, EBM, not EDM. I don't know what the difference is. Not my genre. So EDM is electronic dance music. I'm assuming EBM, maybe electronic black metal? Googled, okay. Electronic body music, okay. So they mix EBM with metal. Nice. Anything that's electronic, I'm cool. I'm down to hear anything electronic. Push, 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 push. Push, 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 push. Big names in EBM are Fronts 242 and Skinny Puppy. Oh, I like both of those. I don't know either that well, but that is a genre, I guess. Cool. Yeah, I've got some music from Front 242 and Skinny Puppy on my laptop. I haven't listened to them for years. Let's set these ones. Insert to location and rotation. Probably before it fully gets to the squat there, I want it to kind of wind its arm up. So probably about there. Actually have that's about there. Wikipedia says electronic volume music, EBM, is a genre of electronic music that combines elements of industrial music and synth punk with elements of dance music. Nice, it sounds exactly what I'm into. I wonder if I then delete those. As it's coming down, it lifts its shoulders up. Let's bring these a little bit closer. So it's come down, it brings its arm up. Possibly from that stage even. Oh yeah, that looks a bit better there. What's missing from that there? I think it probably needs to bring it forward a little. So it's raised in that position. Almost needs to bring this shoulder piece forward. All that's doing is kind of rotating that way. Copy frames and paste in there. I think I'll probably finish this off next week. It's quite a fiddly process, this, because I'm lifting that. I don't think I need to be lifting that arm as high as I am, to be honest. Really need to be there. Some weird things going on. Might have to delete it and start again. But it's not a bad start. So I just want to kind of like for it to swing its arm around and have this arm kind of swing back and the body twist with it, I suppose. Probably what I'm going wrong is that the body needs to twist. And then as it brings this arm back, it's swinging the right arm. And then it kind of goes back into standing position. So yeah, we'll have a look at that next week. Let's save that where I am now. Shows the main screen. We did about 2 hours and 20, it's not bad. But wrist is starting to hurt from mouse clicking. Now I will listen to that King Satan stuff while I'm chilling. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, we're making progress. We're getting stuff done. So once we've got this like swinging, sweeping attack, I do want to do like the double kind of fist slam attack. The walking attack, well, not attack, but the walking animation where it's kind of like slowly stomping towards this direction. And then finally the death animation where it just kind of falls. So I'd say we're about a quarter to a third of the way through this first attack animation. And once I've got one side, I can copy paste it to the other. It's not too hard. But we'll get there. And once we've got these animations, you can copy and paste the animation to other models. So that's why I don't mind spending a little bit of time here, because all models that I'm going to use the same skeleton for can use these animations. I'll just add a few extras to make them unique. But thank you all for joining us tonight. It feels like it's been a bit of a shorter stream. But, yeah. Thanks for the stream. It was epic. From what I saw, Lurking, you made some progress. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Lurking. Hope you've enjoyed your shows. Goodbye. Goodbye indeed. Still selling emotes. Indeed. Provide credit card details to see if you won. Yeah, I hope you have a good rest of your week. Enjoy whatever left you have left of your Wednesday. I'll be back on Friday, fixing bugs in Unity, and hopefully have another demo out as soon as they're all fixed, and then we'll look at probably even making a mini game with our golem just to see how it plays. But until then, have a good night, enjoy your week, and I shall see you all on Friday. Hope you have a good night all. See you then. Good night.